So today we are talking about virtual instruments, and I understand if you are frustrated with the sound of your virtual piano instrument. Let's dive in. This is a really good one. And I'm thinking about you. Alrighty, so I let it fade out there with the grand piano. That's kind of the outro at the moment as it stands. It's sort of a softer version of what the piano's doing in the chorus. So there's a reason I let it fade out on the grand piano, and that's because we're talking about the grand piano, that beautiful recording of a lovely grand. Well, would you believe it wasn't a recording at all? It was actually a MIDI arrangement that's been carefully tweaked and made to sound more authentic and realistic. So let's dive in and talk about how we achieved that sound, how we achieved something that sounded so realistic out of a sampled grand piano. Alright, so let's have a look at the piano roll here. This is the, 4 bars of the chorus that gets repeated. These are all the chords put together. The first thing you're going to notice are all these little rectangles of the MIDI arrangement that's drawn in. All those little rectangles are different colours. And what that represents is the velocity of each of those notes. So it ranges, as you can see here, velocity's down here. If we take the velocity down, it goes kind of purpley colour. And if we take it up, it goes through sort of green and yellow and orange and red. And wow, red means that's too loud. Well, not necessarily, depending on what you're doing. So where was it? It was somewhere around here, I think. It was kind of bluish. Alright, so the first thing you're going to notice is that all of these notes are different colours, which means they're different velocities. And the reason for that is, if you are a piano player, you may know this. If you play a chord, as much as you try to play that chord with all the notes at an equal velocity, you try to put the equal pressure on all those notes, you're never going to put the exact equal pressure on those notes because you're not a machine. Your fingers will always hit the notes at a slightly different pressure. And so we've got to represent that in our MIDI. So you'll notice here, this bottom note down here is 27 on the velocity scale, and then we've got this next one in the triad here. We've got this G is at 55, then we've got 52, and up on the D here we've got 59. So they're all different, and that ranges all the way through. On this next one here, we've got the C is on 50, and then we've got 42, 40, and the bottom note here is 43. So how do we achieve this? Well, let's take a look. What I've done here is I've made a copy of this arrangement over here. And this, as you will notice, all these rectangles are the same colour. And that is because all the velocities are the same. This is what your arrangement will probably look like once you've been playing or drawing in your arrangement. Your arrangement will probably look something like this. In my case, I was using this musical typing feature on Logic. Anyone that's not familiar with this, you can literally play the piano using your computer keyboard instead, sounding something like this. Very nice. So that's what I did. I had this afternoon, I think I was looking after someone's dog and I wanted to waste some time. So I sat with my laptop and I put this whole arrangement together using MIDI. Here's your chords and they're all at the same velocity. So what you're going to want to do, and you can do this in any DAW, is you're going to want to go into each and every note and just change them up a bit. instead of 64, let's go to 40. And on this one, let's keep it at 64, and on this one, take it down very slightly, and on this one, we'll have it nice and soft, like that. So now that chord sounds like this. Oh, it's a bit different, isn't it? It's a bit more realistic than what it was before. The next thing is the note length. So another thing, so we've talked about the pressure from the pianist's fingers onto the notes. We've talked about that, the velocity. Let's talk about the note length. Now the note length essentially is when you hit the note and when you come off of the note. So when your finger goes down on the note and when your finger comes off of the note. Now again, a human being will never hit all the notes or come off all the notes at exactly the same time because you're not a machine. So let's look at, this is an example I put together of if you haven't played the notes, you've drawn in the notes one by one like so. So maybe you've gone, as many of you I'm sure have, one by one. Oh, we've got different velocities here, but there we go. You go like this, and you can do what you like and make different arrangements. Well, maybe you've written in this whole section. You've drawn the whole thing in note by note, and this is what you might end up with, something looking like this. What you'll notice is, of course, the velocity they're all the same. So first off, you want to change those velocities, make them a bit more human. But then the other thing you're going to notice here is that every single note comes on and comes off at exactly the same time. Very regimented, very quantized, as you will. See all these notes come on at the same time here, and then if we go to where they come off, we've got 4 notes here all coming off at exactly the same time. And this is digital, so we're talking exactly the same time. So what you need to do now is head on in and start moving things around. I think I already had here started moving things around. You see here, once we zoom in, these notes are actually coming in at slightly different times. But let's over-exaggerate this for an example. So if let's say the pianist played this note a bit early, this note a bit late, and this one tiny bit early, and this one was right on time. So let's listen to how that sounds. Alright, so yes, it's exaggerated, but this is kind of what we're going for, that sort of imperfect sound. Now the other thing you'll notice is because we moved the notes, they're coming off at different times as well, which again is more natural. So you see this one's coming off first, I think this one's coming off second, this one, and then this one's coming off late. So you can go through your whole arrangement and move those little things around, change the velocity, and then you end up with something like this. So there you have it. That's how we make things sound a bit more authentic, a bit more realistic. And then you've got your arrangement here, and obviously we've got some plugins over here. We've got what are these? This is a bit of saturation and EQ, and we've got a compressor and reverb. So guys, I hope that helped. Go and try it. Go and try it. Do not just skip to the next video and watch something else about making your lead vocal stand out. Go and check out how this can help your arrangement. All right, go and if you've had something that you've worked on recently or in the past, you've had a piano arrangement that didn't really work out that well, give it a go and send me the results. So I'd love to hear your piano arrangements and that sort of thing. So send them over and tell me in the comments section if you liked this video, if you didn't like this video, if it was interesting to you. So if you don't know what equipment you might need to get started recording and mixing, I have all of that equipment listed with my recommendations, equipment that I've used in the past, still use today, stuff that's really great, really affordable, really great for the home studio owner. It's a 25-page ebook. Just click the link in the description, give me your email address. I'll send it right over to you as a gift from me to you. For now, guys, go and make some awesome music, and remember to send it over to me. I want to hear this stuff as well. So make some awesome music and have a great week. Ciao.